Hi everybody, I'm Sarah and welcome to the Big Blue House Homestead. Today I am going to throw dinner in the oven before I start on any of my outdoor activities, chores, gardening sort of things. What I've got right here is this giant pork shoulder, and I'm going to put some slots in it, throw in some whole cloves of garlic. I'm just going to use a basic seasoned salt to season it up. I don't want to waste all the spices by making a blend. So I'm just going to use some seasoned salt, put that on there, and then add a little water to the pan, and I'm going to put the lid on and put it in the oven. I will probably cook it about 8 hours maybe. Get it really nice and soft, let all those fats melt off, and then I'm going to clean all the fat, clean the bone, and we're going to make pulled pork sandwiches for dinner. Sounded good. I mean, it's just one of those things where it's a giant roast, and if I make pulled pork now, then I can freeze the rest for later, and then on days where we need quick lunches, I can just pull out a bag, defrost it, throw it into a pan, reheat it, maybe a little barbecue sauce, things like that. Easy stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and get that done. And then I want to sit there for a while because I am having some struggles, especially when it comes to my garden right now. There's some things that I haven't spoken about. And I just kind of want to get that out there and let everybody else kind of know what's going on, and then give you some resolutions if you're having the same problems I am. And plus I kind of need some help because I'm really behind on planting and I need some advice. So let's do the pork first. Okay, like I said, I'm just going to cut some slits in this and then put in these whole cloves of garlic. And all I do is run my knife in and make big slices. That way I can shove this with the garlic and it'll get some flavor infused into the actual pork. But I have a little trick. A lot of people just stick the cloves in. And I'm going to share a little secret with you. Something I learned a few years back, and it has actually improved the way that I cook my pork. And I'm actually going to sprinkle around my holes. Pretty heavy. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these garlic cloves and I'm going to push a ton of that seasoning directly in to the hole. And that way it seasons inside as well as out. So nothing major. I mean, just a little trick. It puts a little bit of extra seasoning into the actual pork. Oh, that one's a smaller one, I think. Let's do this one. But yeah, it just puts a little extra seasoning inside the actual pork instead of it just being seasoned on the outside. And I know slow roasting, it's going to infuse really well. But for some reason, I did this one time and it absolutely tasted so much better. So let's get all these garlic cloves put in so we can have some pulled pork tonight. Before I season this completely up, I also like to add a splash of apple cider vinegar. It helps break down the meats. And I'll just put a splash on 2 sides, just to make sure that it gets in there. Okay, so my oven's set to 325, and I'm just going to pour some water in this as well, just to help it not stick to the bottom so much. And it's probably just a 1/4 of a cup. And then I'll put my lid on. And I know it's an old roasting pan, but I love this thing. And I'm going to half vent it and stick it in my oven. Okay, so I'm going to hang out with Mr. Chi-Chi up here, which in fact is real name's Chi-Chi Peachy Pie. So, yeah, very masculine name for such a feminine rooster. But anyway, I'm going to hang out with him and enjoy the shade for a minute. I moved all of my seed starts out to finish hardening them off, which they're doing absolutely excellent. My tomatoes are turning really dark and beautiful. So we're getting there. But I wanted to sit here and talk about some of the struggles I've been having. I need some advice, I need some suggestions, I need a little bit of help. And first things first, I never really mentioned a whole lot about my cold weather brassicas. I lost every single one. There was about 200 plants, and I put them all on the ground, and never had an issue before, but this year the deer have moved in quickly, very fast compared to usual. I think it has a lot to do with the weather and the way it's been warm then cold, then warm then cold. I don't know. But yeah, they ate every single one. So we ordered all the stuff and we're gonna have to put up a fence. I have no choice. I need to protect what I have and I need to get all of that safe. So big deliveries coming on Monday, and not only am I getting some more wood because we're extending the chicken coop, but I'm also going to be getting fencing materials as well as a few other things. But yeah, so Another setback, not only did my tiller die, and so I can't finish the beds, but we bought a rototiller that goes on the end of your weed eater, and it works excellent, except it's heavy. And so if you ever use a weed eater a lot and then you use like a rototiller that's like bum 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 the entire time, yeah, your arms get sore quick. So still a little behind on that, but now I have to put up an entire fence around my garden, and my garden's quite big. It's 10,000 plus square feet. I've never actually measured, but it's a lot. I mean, it's a lot. So that's a lot of fencing to put up, but we'll get that done. But my main concern is I haven't put any other plants in the ground. I did put a squash in yesterday, and my squash are starting to turn a little yellow, which means they are done with the little small cells. And my intention was, like always, I plant them 2 weeks before I put them in the ground. And that's been about 4 weeks now. Not because I couldn't get them in the ground, but because my weather has been so awful. Absolutely awful. I'm looking at average days between 70 and 80 degrees, but my nights have been dropping down to the low 40s. I've had a couple that have even been in the mid to upper 30s. So with that being said, my soil temperatures are just way too low to where I need them to be. And so I haven't put anything in the ground because I'm afraid that it's just going to stunt and die. Sorry, I was watching a bird. Stunt and die, or not make it through the cold, things like that. So, like I said, I did put a squash out there to kind of see if it would make it through the night, because last night we got down to 42 degrees. My last frost date was supposed to be April 15th. Every other year I have planted and I have gotten stuff in the ground at that time. No problems. There is something big flying. Oh, it's a crow. Sorry, you can see he's on alert. Big shadows through the yard, you know, making sure my chickies are okay. But anyway, we're supposed to have stuff started around April 15th in the ground. Every other year I've been able to do that. Not an issue, not a problem. But this year, I mean, it's all right, Chi-Chi. It's all right. But this year, I can't. I can't pull that strength from me to put something in the ground that I'm possibly going to lose. So why I am sitting here now is because I'm asking for advice. Like, what would you do in my situation? I have about another week of really cold nights. I'll check the 10-day forecast again to see if there's any changes. But so far, I think I have like 4 more days that are going to be in the low 40s. But do I go ahead and take that chance and put my plants in the ground? Or do I just wait that extra week just in case? I'm looking for food security. Obviously, I think we all are. But because I lost all my brassicas, it's put me behind. I usually would have lots of broccoli to freeze and cauliflower to freeze, things to can, things like, and I can't. I can't lose this food because all of these tomatoes and peppers and artichokes and leeks and everything else that I'm growing, eggplants, all of that, I don't want to lose that food. I want to be able to thrive and grow and be strong this year with my family, especially food security wise. So what would I do on any other normal basis? Well, I would obviously already have my stuff in the ground and I would be watering. Hold on. That crow must have been going after a bird's nest that they were getting chased. But anyways, I want to be able to know, what would you do in my situation? If you only had about a week and then it looks like your weather's going to warm up at night, but your soil temperatures are still going to be low, your nights are going to still be a little bit cold, would you go ahead and plant or would you hold off? Like I said, I'm looking for food security and I don't want to lose my plants. I've already lost too many and I don't want to go through that again. And I would really hate to put out all of these tomatoes and peppers and then everything just disappear. So yeah, I need some help with that. And then the other thing is I cannot figure out what to do about the birds. Never had an issue. I did have neighbors' cats that kind of lived in our yard, but they have since been removed. And now I have an abundance of birds, which is fine, but I cannot get my carrots to grow. They eat the tops off of every single one as they sprout up. I had an entire square foot bed. I think it's 4 by 8 square foot bed. raised bed that was planted full of carrots, and I have like 5 sprouts left. Even the radishes that I have in my front beds, picked clean. Put netting over those. It's actually, let me show you. Okay. All right, so I'm pretty resourceful when it comes to thrifting and saving money. So I pick up a lot of this holiday ribbony tool stuff that you make wreaths out of, and I get it on clearance for like $1 a roll. But it works great as a netting because you can see through it, and the sun gets through it, and the water gets through it. So I've covered those beds with that. But this bed's too large, and I want to reseed and try to get as many carrots as I can. But what would you suggest? I was thinking about building like a cage almost around the bed, and then putting some of this netting over the top. Or I have some larger rolls of tulle in the house that I use for their projects, so I could put that over the top. I don't know. I mean, I don't know what to do. I'm just losing so much. So I need help with that. Would you build a cage and net it over it? Would you try to hoop house them? I mean, what would you do to try to save your carrots? Because seriously, like, I planted over 400 seeds and I have like maybe 5 carrots right now. And yeah, I'm not gonna have enough carrots if I keep this up. So I need some help with that. But anyway, I wanted to go out and let's see if this squash survived, because if it did, then I might be able to go ahead and plant the squashes, because the deer usually don't eat the squash plants. But I need to get things moving because they're turning yellow and they need to get out, and I've got to get this garden going. I mean, I feel so behind compared to everybody else, and I know I'm a different zone because I'm zone 7B and I'm in South Carolina. So I'm a different zone, but I've seen people who are in North Carolina in the same zone as me, and in Arkansas in the same zone as me, and they're already planted. And I see people in, you know, zone 6Bs and 6As that are already planting as well, or getting ready to, and I feel like I'm so behind. So anyway, let's go check on this squash and see what's happening there. All right, so it looks like this little squash made it. It's not droopy or cold looking or like it's, you know, struggling. So maybe I can go ahead and plant some squash now and start with those. We'll see. Okay, so like I said, I just wanted to give like a quick little update of what was going on, and thank you guys in advance for any of the advice you give, because honestly I do need it. So should I build a tunnel, build a cage? What do I need to do to protect my carrots? I really want to get carrots in, and I'm afraid I'll have to wait till the fall if I don't get some in soon. Yeah, because I'm honestly, I'm afraid that the weather is going to go from it's really cold to then super hot immediately, because it shouldn't be like this. And there's, you know, global stuff going on, and who knows what's going to happen. So yeah, we'll see. So anyway, thank you guys for your advice. And then, do I plant my plants, or should I just wait a week, because I'm kind of in that fork in the road where I can plant and kind of guess if it survives, or plant and know that it survives. But I'm also not wanting to get out in 80-degree plus weather every day, because it decides to get extremely hot extremely fast. And that's what I'm struggling with. All right, so anyway, we'll see. Garden will get planted either way. But yeah, thank you again for all your advice, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.